Hello everybody, it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial. And today we are painting a Nighthaunt miniature, a new Nighthaunt miniature. We are painting the Scriptor Mortis. Here he is. He's really cool. He's new and he's awesome. And we're going to be painting him today. He has been primed in Grey Seer because we want quite a cold, ghostly finish. And the place we're going to start on is all of his kind of weirdly fleshy, greeny, ethereal skin. So this is the top half of him, and it blends down into that lovely sort of turquoisey colour at the bottom that you'll see on the box art. So in order to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to make a roughly 4 parts contrast medium to 3 parts Guilliman Flesh to 1 part Creed Camo mix. What we're going to do is just going to load up our brush here with a bunch of that, and we're going to start painting this all over his skin. Now it's going to come out a little bit dark, but that's okay because we are going to layer it up. As you can see, it gives us that really lovely decrepit, horrible, fleshy tone that he has on the box art. We just want to get this all over like this. So we're just going along his body, along his arms. We want to do his face as well. So on the back here, what we're going to do is just going to bring it down to around about here. There's fine. And don't worry about it being kind of a bit of an abrupt ending, because we are going to do some blending into it a little bit later on. So we're just going to get this all over like this. Don't forget to do the inside. It's very easy to do that on these Nighthaunty boys. So with that done, what we're now going to do is we're going to very quickly take some Apothecary White. We're going to paint this over the top of the bones. Now, you might be thinking, hey, Mr. Warhipster, I thought you said we were going to be doing blending. Well, we are going to be doing blending, but we need the bones to be the right colour before we can do it, because a lot of the blending happens on the bones as well. So we just want to get this Apothecary White all over these bones. You want to make sure, of course, that you bring the Apothecary White down onto the bones in and around the smoke as well. So with that done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some Aethermatic Blue. This is going to be the first of our kind of greeny, bluey, blendy colours. And, well, what we're going to do is we're going to start on the flesh. Now, we're going to take this Aethermatic Blue, and we're going to start around about here. Just this section, just here where my brush is. And we're just going to paint this down, going like this, all the way to there. Like that. Then we're going to quickly wash the brush, and then using a clean brush, just where those two colours meet, we're just going to brush away the paint so it leaves this kind of blending effect into the Aethermatic Blue. Then what we do is we do kind of the rest of it, but we're also going to do the bones on the central day is here. So we're going to start up here, round about there. Just going to put it down just like that. Wash the brush once again. Clean brush. Just going to mop up that paint, just move it around so you get this much more kind of subtle blend into the Aethermatic Blue. And then all that's left to do is to just paint in the rest of the ghostliness. Like so. So with that Aethermatic Blue applied, what we're now going to do is we're going to make a roughly 2 parts contrast medium to 1 part Terradon Turquoise mix. And we're now going to go over the areas of our ghostly trails. Now we're going to be doing this in the same style as when we did with the Aethermatic Blue, only this time we're going to be doing a little bit less of it, and then we're going to also kind of blend it into the colours that we've done. We're also going to be trying to avoid the bones, because, well, they're perfect as they are. So what we're going to do this on the back, and we're going to start kind of round about here, just there, where that kind of trail opens out just that little bit more, like that. And once again, we're just going to take it all the way down, like so. We're going to wash the brush, and then with a clean brush, we're just going to move that paint around about there. Just to create that blend. Just like that. Similarly on the other side, we go to around about here. Like so. Wash the brush. And then just smooth out that transition. And then for the rest of it, I'm just going to cover it in. And so with that done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some Terradon Turquoise on its own. I'm going to use this to add the kind of darkest parts of the spectralness. So this is mostly towards the front and to, well, the bottom, I should say, rather than the front. But what we also want to do is we want to kind of just, again, do one more last little blending thing. So for example, just here on the back, what we're going to do is we're just going to, around about this kind of area here, we're going to paint this pure Terradon Turquoise all over the end, all over that section. I'm going to wash the brush, and then we're just going to blend it out, and then we're also going to do it towards the tip as well. Like so. I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. Just like that. Watch for any kind of large dark pools. It's not what we're after. You can just quickly get in there to remove them. So similarly, just here on this kind of large bit down here, we're going to start just up there. Like that. We're going to wash the brush. And then we're just going to take it off the tip. Same here. So with all of that done, you should have a Scriptor Mortis that looks somewhat like this. Now don't worry, it's not finished yet. We are going to be doing some little highlights, but for now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to some of the other details. The first one we're going to move on to is this smoke trail just here. And the colour we're going to be using for this is Dark Angel's Green. So we want this to be a really dark, blackish smoke with a greenish tint. A lot of ish. So we're just going to put this Dark Angel's Green all over. Just like that. So with that done, just whilst we're waiting for that to dry, what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Wraithbone and we're going to apply this over the top of all of our candles. This is both as a sort of correcting measure, but also because we want to change the tone of them. So with that done, what I've actually done is I've also coloured in the pages with the Wraithbone, because I forgot to mention that in the last take. And well, what we're going to do now is we're going to colour in all the candles and the pages, and the colour we're going to be making is a roughly 2 parts contrast medium to 1 part skeleton horde. And we're just going to coat this over the top of all of our candle wax. And over the top of our pages of the book. It's quite a subtle little colouring, but ultimately we want these to be quite bright, sort of sickly candles. Just like this. And so with that done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some Nazdreg Yellow. I'm going to use this to paint in all of our candle flames. So with that done, what we're now going to do is we're going to work on this smoke trail. Don't worry about the black details on the smoke and the little wicks and stuff. We're getting to that. We will get there very, very soon. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on the large smoke trail up here. And the 3 colours we're going to be using for this are Plaguebearer Flesh, Gryph-Charger Grey and Black Templar. We're going to be using them all at the same time. And the first one we're going to use is Plaguebearer Flesh. And we're just going to start right here at the bottom of the flame closest to the lantern, like this. I'm going to come up to around about there, like so. Then we're going to wash our brush, and then we're going to grab some Gryph-Charger Grey, and here where the 2 colours meet, we're just going to start applying this Gryph-Charger Grey. Like this, coming up to around about there, like that. I'm going to wash the brush, and then we're going to grab some Black Templar. I'm going to add this over the remaining part of the smoke, just like that. Then what we do is we wash our brush, grab some Plaguebearer Flesh, and just again, where these 2 colours meet, We're just going to move the paint around like that. We're mixing on the model here. Going to wash the brush, grab some Gryph-Charger Grey, add it there, like so. Wash the brush, grab some more Gryph-Charger Grey, and I'm going to do it the same with the Black Templar end. Just like that. We're just going to keep going like that until we're happy. Now I'm reasonably happy with that. Just going to take that large dark blob off there. And I'm just going to flip it over. I'm going to do the exact same thing again. So with that done, what we're then going to do is we're going to take some Tesseract Glow. I'm going to paint this over the lantern. So with that done, it's still drying at the moment, but that's okay, because what we're going to do now is we're going to take some Black Templar. I'm going to use this in a couple of different places. Now, the first place we're going to use this is towards the base of this large green candle that we painted earlier. Just like that. We want to bring it down over the wick as well. Now that's so it goes from a black fading up to a green. Like that. It's quite subtle, but it works. What we're also going to do is we're going to take small amounts of this Black Templar. We're going to use this to paint in the wicks of all of our other candles. And we're just going to bring it up onto the flames. Just a little bit, like that. And then what we can do, particularly on this large one here, we can just blend that in a little bit with a clean brush, like so. I'm just going to go over like that across all of our candle flames. So with that done, what we're now going to do is we're going to work on the book cover. And the colour we're going to be using for this is Cygor Brown. What we're just going to do is we're just going to start painting this all over the leather to give us that really nice, rich, dark brown. Just like this. There's always one thing I forget to do. And in this occasion, it's the hair. Now the colour I'm going to be using for this is Black Templar, and this is why I forgot to do it. I meant to say it earlier, but I didn't do it. So what we're going to be doing is, because we've done some blending on the hair, is we're basically going to just be kind of finishing that off. Now I'm going to come down this kind of inside because it's a little bit trickier to do first. So I'm just going to start way down here at the bottom. I'm just going to bring it all the way up in one nice big broad brush stroke where possible. Just going to check the back of the head, just like that. Similarly, on the other side, we're now going to come down the other one. Make sure that we do the inside. like so. Come up onto the underside of the armpit. There we go. What we're going to do is we're going to bring it down to around about that corner, like so. We're going to wash the brush, and we're just going to smooth out the transition. So with that done, what we're now going to do is going to work on the feather. Now the three colours we're going to be using are Contrast Medium, Gore-Grunta Fur, and Black Templar. And the way we're going to do this is slightly different to how we've been doing all of the rest of our kind of blendy type stuff. What we're going to do is we're going to take some Contrast Medium on our brush, just as it is. We're just going to paint that all over the feather, just like that. I'm going to wash the brush. Then we're going to grab some Gore-Grunta Fur. And then we're just going to paint that Gore-Grunta Fur over the top. Just like that. Then we wash the brush, grab some Black Templar, and just towards the tip, we're just going to add the Black Templar like that. Then we take our clean brush and towards the base of the feather, we're essentially just going to keep dabbing at it by absorbing the paint like so. Until we get this really nice subtle fade. Going on just like that. So with that feather done, it's looking pretty cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some Volupus Pink. I'm going to use this to basically tint the colour of the book. A sort of very deep pink. Just like that. You only need to do this really around the edges of the book. That is kind of like the most visible. So just like this front bit here. Like so. This kind of bit here. So with that done, we've only got a couple of things left to do, and these are the metallic details. So the first one we're going to be doing is the metal silver work that we're going to be doing, and the colour we're going to be using for this is Iron Warriors. Now this is mostly this kind of candle holder up here. Like so. We also mustn't forget that it's pierced through his chest underneath. You can just see the spike. poking through in there. And of course, we want to do both sides. Like that. We're also going to do this side as well, but the other place that we're going to work on is the lantern bracket thing. So with that now done, what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Balthasar Gold. I'm going to use this to paint in the kind of, well, the corner protectors of his book. Very important. Like that. And we're also going to use this Balthasar Gold to paint in the nib of the quill. So with that now done, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Basilicanum Grey. I'm going to use this to shade both the silver and the Balthasar Gold. And so with that done, we've just got one last shade to do, but this is more of a recess shade, and the colour we're going to be using for this is Creed Camo. And what we're going to be doing is just around the kind of inside of the lanterns windows. Just going to be adding a tiny little bit of extra shading in there. Just like that. Just really helps it come alive. So with that done, our Scriptor Mortis is at what I would call a Warhipster battle ready. But you didn't come here to see no battle ready version. You came here to see a Warhipster parade ready version. And that's exactly what we're going to do now. So we're going to start adding some highlights. And the first one is going to be some Sybarite Green. And what we want to do is we just want to add a very, very narrow highlight to the most prominent of the ghostly trails. Just like this. It's very subtle, but it's just enough. So with that Sybarite Green applied, what we're then going to do is going to take some Blue Horror. I'm going to use this to highlight the bones that are blue. And so with that done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Ulthuan Grey. I'm going to use this to highlight the remaining of areas of the bone. And this is because we don't want these to have like super stark clean highlights. So that's why we're not using Corax White, for example, because whilst Ulthuan Grey is quite a close colour to white, it actually dries a lot darker, so it looks a lot more stark now as it's going on than it does once it's dry. So we're just going to highlight all of these bones now. And so with that now done, what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Deepkin Flesh, and we're going to use this to highlight the candles and his skin. So what we want to do on the candles, for example, is we just want to pick out the dripping wax. That's all. It's very simple. Just like that. Just gives them that sickly finish by doing that. Just like this. And similarly, on his skin, what we're going to do is we're going to pick out the sharpest details. So for example, the knuckles. I'm going to pick out his face, or well, skull face, like so. And then along his arms. As well as his ribs, mainly sticking towards the spine. Still sticking with the Deepkin Flesh just for a moment, and this is because, well, if I'm being honest, I forgot it again. What we're going to do is we're going to take this Deepkin Flesh and we're just going to run this along that central spine of the quill. Like that. And I'm going to use a tiny amount of it to just highlight the feathers. So with that done, we're very nearly there. What we're going to do is we're going to take some Yriel Yellow and we're just going to use this to add a little highlight to the tops of our candles. And with that done, just to finish off those candles, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Gryph-Hound Orange. Not very much of this at all. What we're going to do is we're just going to paint it over the middle of the candle flame. So I'm just going to just blend that one out a little bit more because that's a little too much paint. Let's just take a little bit less than that. Just like that, perfect. Just like this, just add a little bit more warmth into those flames. So with that done, what we're then going to do is take some Stormvermin Fur. I'm going to use this to add like a dirty grey highlight to just the end of our smoke trail like that. We're going to add a little bit of it to this one, towards the base where we coloured in with the black. Just picking out the edge, like that. Then we're also just going to highlight the hair. So with that now done, what we're going to do is going to take some Runelord Brass. And I'm going to use this to highlight our gold details. So with that Runelord Brass applied, what we then do is we take some Leadbelcher. We use this to highlight the silver. So with that now done, our Scriptor Mortis is effectively finished. Isn't he awesome? So what we're going to do now is we're going to do the next level thing. I know we already went to the next level with Parade, but we're going to go even further now, and we're going to actually add some script into the large book. Now we're going to be using Blood Angels Red for this first, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to use this to draw out our sections. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this Blood Angels Red, and we're going to draw a little line going across like so. I'm going to draw another one going under here. Like that. I'm going to draw a little box just under here. Like so. Give that brush a quick wash. I'm going to draw another line going there like that. And I'm going to draw another one just there like that. So with that now done, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Wyldwood. Not very much of this at all. I'm going to use this to draw some long scripty lines underneath each of our sections. So I'm just going to start just here. Like that. I'm going to leave a little gap. It's too much paint. Just like this. I'm going to keep going until I'm happy, until I've filled out the book, and then once that's done, we'll come back. And so, with the base finished, using some Gamer's Grass tufts and some Gamer's Grass little purple flowers, the Scriptor Mortis is now finished. He's a really, really cool addition to the Nighthaunt range. I think it looks fabulous. I think it looks awesome, suitably creepy for those ghosty people, for lack of a better word. Really fun to do as well. The majority of it is contrast, and those highlights are nice and subtle, really blending into that ethereal effect that we're after.
If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel and you want to support me further like these legends and bosses on the screen before you, you can do so. Head to patreon.com/warhipster or head to ko-fi.com/warhipster. Alternatively, you can now become a YouTube channel member by heading to the channel page and clicking on the join button just here, just like these absolute bosses have done. And if you just want to shoot me a little thanks, just because you really love this video, you can click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.